stay with us, but it's going to be painful because we have a lot of rage. Okay, next topic.
So Chief De Caire is in the news on a regular basis again because all kinds of Hamilton and Hamilton area who's who, and by who's who I mean wealthy and influential people, are suggesting that he needs to stay. So if you like Chief De Caire and you're like me, a financial nobody, that's just an irrelevant opinion. But if you're Foxcroft, who Ron is a great Hamiltonian who lives in Burlington, and that's great, but why does it become a front page story? Because random rich guys like our chief. I would assume lots of people like the chief, lots of people don't like the chief. There's a weird lobby, what's going on here? Why is the paper writing about Juravinsky having a preference to keep this chief? It's very strange.
Well, I asked Andrew Dreschel if anyone had really dug down as to why Charles Juravinsky, philanthropist, millionaire, why he was so invested in this, to this full-on campaign. And Andrew said it had been covered, he thinks he's a good chief, etc. I'm thinking there's got to be a friendship at play or something going on, because this is quite a lot of effort. Now, it alluded to a lot of people, but all we've seen so far come up is Juravinsky and Foxcroft, which had the Spectator agree with a position that I've had all along, that we do need a lobby registry. I understand the Chamber says it's going to set a chill for business, but other big cities have them. Business will adjust. What's concerning for me, like the Spectator on something like this, the police chief works for the city. We pay his paycheck. He is a city employee. And yes, the police service board makes a decision on his contract, but at the end of the day, if there's lobbying happening of people who are deciding on a city contract, we should know who those names are. Now, Foxcroft, I've known him for a long time. He is the kind of guy who's not going to hide in the shadows of anything. Ron came out and said, not only am I doing this, but I told the chief, and I love this line, he said, I can kill you with praise or I can help you with criticism. You'd better start working better with counsel and people. So, I mean, at least Foxcroft's out there saying, I'm trying to, but here's my biggest thing on this, beyond the whole big, powerful people in the back rooms trying to get the chief rehired, this is the police chief. This is somebody who, by all accounts, is very good at law enforcement, has to be a strong individual. Why on earth would he give a letter of resignation amidst all this internecine warfare on the Police Services Board and then get his powerful friends to try to beg for his job back? It really rubs me the wrong way. What kind of commander-in-chief operates that way? When was the last time that, I know on some private boards you have friends of the CEOs at the board meetings try to stack the votes, but this is on a whole other level.
That's the important point here. So it's not that the Police Services Board, the city of Hamilton, didn't want De Caire back. He said he wasn't interested in coming back. He
resigned.
And with all of this coming forward now, we need to hear from the chief. Right. Has he changed his mind? Is he interested in renewing a contract? Does he need the Police Service Board to get on their knees? Like, what's at play here? I'm sure.
And why does he, and his powerful friends have other things to do with their money and time than to be lobbying for a guy who doesn't even want the job. So you have to take Foxcroft at his word that De Caire wants the job back.
It's hard to apply for a job that was offered to you that you said no to. I don't know. This is so goofy and so weird.
And the city's going to is spending $80,000 on a headhunting firm to look for another chief. When we have this full court press to have the board push back Chief De Caire's resignation letter, which, as I've said, is not something that I want to see in a top executive or a top leader have their friends try to make something like this happen for them. He should just walk in and say, I made a mistake, I shouldn't have resigned, it was premature, we've had some issues, let's work them out, and save us the 80 grand as a city. We could be applying it to other things, like gateway signage and other things. Oh, it drives me nuts. Because he's going to get his job back. Eventually they're going to push this through. Don't you think?
It's an interesting change of the power dynamic if the chief is back in his position and he's doing us a favor to be there. And he is saving us because we begged him. And for all I know, he's the greatest chief ever. I don't know what it takes to run a police force. I don't sit on the Police Services Board. But he quit.
It looks bad.
It
looks bad
weird.
To see somebody. It looks bad to see someone resign at a time when there's fighting, and then to have their powerful friends do a full court press, even publicly, to get them their job back. It kind of makes the police board look like the bad guys in this.
Well, who does the hiring? The Police Services Board.
Right.
So why do you need to call the Spectator to tell them that you are a powerful rich guy who likes this chief.
Right.
There are only 5 votes on the police
Because they're trying
services
to mount
board.
public, well, because they're, the couple councillors who I think are not as easily aligned. I mean, the newest councillor on the board, of course, being Ferguson, who's the chair, is trying to mediate this apparently. But it's bizarre, and it smacks of privilege that suddenly, if you have enough power and profile in this city, without signing any kind of lobby registry, you can just go on and lobby for a top public job. I'm not taking anything away from Charles and Ron. They're not doing anything wrong, except that it looks bad on the chief. If you want your job back, just ask for it. Just say you made a mistake or you've changed your mind. Enough with this. And can we have the $80,000 back? Put it towards the police budget. I don't care. But it shouldn't go to looking for a new chief if this chief's going to get the job back.
You know how many tasers you can buy for 80 grand?
It's so stupid. I'm in a bad mood this week. Not in my life, in terms of the city. Okay. Okay, let's move on, shall we, to the election?
So a few more candidates have been added to the local election here. There's a couple of